first and foremost, just like do your C review stuff, and then cease to play in C whatsoever. Like C is barred unless you accidentally are doing like a positional playing point and you arrive at the answer C because you were just like, all right, I'm playing pattern 4, I'm in C. Oh yeah, that's where I learned it. So C fingerings out of order, playing point positional. Then what we're really talking about with our rel box is relative major, relative minor. Ironically, rel. So like, piano or whatever, it's like you go up a minor, A and C, F sharp and A. But on our instrument, we can just go A minor is C, index pinky, with a third like that, or C major is A minor, D major is B minor, D minor is F major, D minor is F major. So like, first, our easier one is when we're playing a song like Freak, where is our main exploration area. And while we're at it, your pentatonic one, is right on top of rail box, so you can, like, those are notes where if you guess them, it's just about always gonna work. Though I guess Romu's stuff's a little more diatonic often. So yeah, like when we're doing that in a song like Freak, what I'm gonna do is like just pretend Freak's in A minor instead of G minor. And it's, like maybe in your brain it's like it's a G song, but it is fully like in a minor key. And that is our minor fingering. Our 1, 2, 3rd one is like, that's the minor key. So we learned it 2 frets higher. So you've got like your fingering, and then back behind that, we've got just, for starters, just, like in Freak, you're going. But also, if we kind of thought about the grand scheme of things, this is that big sprawly pin the balls fingering. And those notes are, it's like here it is in the key we learned it in, or like major, minor. So then when we switch to here, it's like, here's our, with back behind it, which even if you don't use the set fingering for it, you can be like, just kind of picture those notes as being available all the time. And if we want to think about pentatonic behind rel box on the E string, it's like 3 in a row of these, which is the pentatonic we learned for that. So like, there's our rel world is like, if Freak was in A minor instead of G minor, it would be in the key we learned this stuff in. Yeah. It would be with number 1 pentatonic on it, and then just behind it, but or anything where you interact with those notes going back and forth on strong fingers. You with me on what I'm doing? Big sprawly second one? Yeah, cool. Like there's the first one, we're on the second one. Big sprawly pin the walls one. And we'll want to think about major minor there. There's another minor 3rd up from that. Cool. So that's what's behind it. Behind our rel box. So when we're in Freak, we've got those like fingering 3 slash pentatonic 1 with this back behind it, or 3 or just 2 of these. And out in front of it, probably the first major scale you ever learned. Here we're going, so again, let's just go back to easy key. If frequent, if it was an A minor instead, here's C, and here's, so even if we're like minor, those are going to be notes that work. So ahead of your rel box, you've got, like, which will mostly be something that will work for fills. If you were kind of like thinking about just trying to like go up the neck a little bit, there it is. And we mean 2 of those, 2 of these, boom, that one, like probably the first major scale you ever learned. So, you know, in A minor is C major, and in the case of a song like Freak, or Oh My Lover, it's G minor's B flat major, so every 2 frets back. So there's your E string row box. A string row box, like in, what we were just working on, Falling. That stuff, it's like, you know, right now we're in C minor / E flat, so it's like the stuff we learned way up here, which seems pretty random up there, but here it's in most of the fretboards, pretty useful fingering. So yeah, it's like, you know, so yeah, the, you know, like 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15, and there's your right, A, C, A, C. So if we're like A all the way down to C minor, which is confusing because we were just talking about C major, but now we mean C minor, E flat major. So the same fingering then. And back behind it, we've got the 3 and a row of these, which is from the pentatonic or the 3 that we learned at the 10th fret. And that's on top of the one with all the pinky reaches and shit. Like, that we learned up at the 10th fret. It was like the one we were just talking about, the one that starts with the root. And then with right on top of it, that's where we are. So, rel box, A string. It's like you're at the 12th fret, you know, so you've got below it on the bass string, and then back behind it, 3 of these right here like that, and or whether you use the pinky or just like we were thinking about with using this fingering, you know, you could just be like, however you end up picturing it. So yeah, and that's the, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 reach, 1, 2 reach, or sorry, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3 reach, 1, 3 reach, 1, 3 reach fingering, or at the 10th fret. So songs like Freak, and while we're at it, fingering number 1, probably the one you have the easiest time remembering, is in front of this. Like, here we are, pretending the song was there.
Right.
That'd be like, you know, so. Like, so there we are. Where we are is like 3 frets above where we learned it. I'm talking about. And I assume this one's pretty easy for you to picture because it's the first one you learned. So there's where we are. It's E flat. So here's Freak. Or rather, here's Falling. And then in front of it, so yeah, you've got your like 7 fingering with 1 in front of it, which will actually sound pretty good to use as in maybe an exploration area. And then back behind it, 3 and a row of these. And yeah, so I'm just trying to think of all the scales in terms of relative major, relative minor this time way more than before. And you know, just kind of like memorize them as they come up a little bit. Like you accidentally did A minor C because we talked about it a bunch. Not picture it on piano, but like memorize it.
Mm.
You know, G minor is B flat major because you know Freak. C minor is E flat major because you know Falling, stuff like that. Either way, you're gonna do your scales, and you could, you know, the assignment could be like play them all in home bass key, play the songs, like find which fret you would groove at in the C major A minor for all of these, and mostly A minor because it's rel.